favorite compas have another jam-packed episode of Lunes Live. Gilberto and I got you guys covered with NFL takeaways on the Chargers, Rams, and the Week 3 preseason storylines. We also will be joined by a very special guest at about 5:15 in about 13 minutes. Kirk Morrison will be joining us, former NFL linebacker, former Aztec. We will be having him on the show, so it'll be awesome to get him and get his perspective on everything. Gilbert and I saw him at training camp, and he said, "Hey, you guys haven't had me on a show in a while." So boom, we got it going. Plus, time permitting, Vic the producer will join us for NFL Crossfire, and we will close it out with Una Mas. All right, Gilberto, don't you have a question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yes, I do. For the engagement question of the week, sort of a unique story that occurred in the Chargers world. Not Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert and some players got stuck in an elevator. Jim Harbaugh wanted to be stuck in the elevator because it was a test of wills. It was a test of patience and might. Oh my God, did the players answer the call there? Who's got it better than us? Nobody besides those players stuck in the elevator. But that's the engagement question of the week. How long before you freak out being stuck in an elevator? Because think about it, 11 to 12 players. I guess you don't have to be in the same situation, but if you're stuck in an elevator with a bunch of people, how long before you start freaking out? And how long before your wet hair comes out, your sweaty shirt comes out? Because Jim Harbaugh was saying that Justin Herbert didn't get sweaty in there, and he was a big time leader. Let me know in the comments how long before you freak out. And Fernando, 10 minutes for me. I think I'll freak out. I freak out about everything. So
it depends on the smell in there. That would be that kind of the thing that would get me going. But
the shirt would be drenching, I'm assuming, Fernando. You want
me? Oh, dude, you've seen it. Yeah, no, it'd probably be off by that time. So Justin Herbert didn't even sweat in the elevator.
What a beast, James.
Look at that. What up, Corey? How you doing? But yeah, that's some good stuff right there. But all right, let's go with the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So where's Compas?
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
Hey. There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? And if you want to plug in Young Wes's comment there, because I gotta ask you now, Fernando, questions because you know me. I need to be entertained at press conferences, and for some reason, I keep seeing more things pop out about Jim Harbaugh pressure. Are they really that entertaining the way social media is making it seem? Because it could be like 10 minutes of just coach speak and boring motivational speeches, and then out of nowhere, it's like, I want to be in the elevator with my guys, man. I want to see Justin Herbert in the toughest moments and thrive without even being sweaty, like. And then just seeing you, the reporters, going at it with him too, that's fun. Or even just the blank stares with like, huh? I just love Jim Harbaugh pressure.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one, by the way, where he like goes, sorry, I didn't get that. Like, and that's gonna be an in-season thing. Young West said, never knew I'd see someone who would want to be stuck in an elevator like Jim Harbaugh. Gotta love him, man. Anything to spend time with his players. It's not always like that, but yeah, there has been several times where you're just like kind of thrown off a little bit by some of the things that he says. Because let's be honest, he's not answering half of our questions. So why even?
Funny because he's not going to, but then he always has something prepared to be like, oh, like I'm not a doctor statements. And then out of nowhere, you can see his face like thinking like, I have something prepared, but you know what? I'm going to go a different direction and just throw you guys off.
Have you ever seen the movie The Wedding Ringer with Kevin Hart?
I think a little. You might have mentioned it once, and I watched it.
They hire him to be the best man of the wedding and stuff.
I've never seen it, but you brought it up a couple times where I feel like you've seen it.
So he always says, if you get stuck in an uncomfortable situation, pull out your party trick. And like a dude shakes his man tits, and like another person like has 3 testicles. It's crazy, but that's what Jim Harbaugh does. He pulls out he pulls out his party trick, and his party trick is just going on a tangent about how his father gave him $1 one time and said, "Son, you have to make this dollar last for a week," and that's just what Jim Harbaugh is going to do. So we ask him a question that maybe he's not wanting to answer, and he's going to go a completely different route. So yeah, it's just it's a little strange, but
but that's what makes it better. It keeps you on your toes where you're getting nothing for 10 minutes, and then you get a gem. Something beautiful is going to go viral on social media, and I just like it.
It's like his party trick. Well, I'll say it. Fucking love Harbaugh, man. He spoke to us at Coronado Village Elementary back in '98 when he was on the Chargers. Oh, that's pretty cool. You know what's funny? Oh yeah, Thad Castle's on it. Yeah, Thad Castle. Funny dude. When the Raiders blew out the Chargers last year, he was there. I wanted to go up to him and be like, "Hey, can we get you on the program?" But I wasn't able to get to where he was at. So I did see Flavor Flav though that day. So Flavor Flav. But by the way, there was a certain Raiders beat reporter I didn't know who Flavor Flav was. That's pretty astounding.
Interesting. Even if you're like, maybe 18 years old, you should know Flavor Flav.
Yeah, that's really weird. You know what? F it. I have it queued up right here. Gilbert, Vic, can you take that off, please? We gotta, Gilbert, you need to listen to this. I don't know if you listened to the whole thing.
Oh, it was. We dodged a bullet. I mean, I usually think of dodging a bullet as dodging an injury in football, and you got to get good at that. You got to get good at making yourself harder to break and dodging a bullet. But I mean, it was a shared experience. I think 11 or 12 of our players were there for about 2 hours, and that's a shared experience. I mean, brought them closer together. I just missed it,
just missed it. Oh man,
that elevator, and it's like we should have been there with those guys,
pounding.
And but Justin Herbert was, and the remarkable things that came out of it was, to a guy, Tarheeb, young rookie player, it's like, wow, Justin Herbert's a leader. He was a rock. Kept everybody calm, and Jerry Fouts told me the same thing.
Dan Fouts' son
after they got out, and just how great Justin was, and everybody. I mean, everybody kept their poise, and you get in those situations, and it's a test of wills, And I was proud of each of the guys, and the two women that were on that elevator. I mean, that's a win. You feel good about yourself. You got to.
Can I say something?
Yeah, and I got something else after you say that.
What if Jim set this up to see how Herbert would handle tough situations?
Okay.
And this was a situation where he told the elevator operator, "Hey, hit the red button now." Boom, hits the red button, and then he gets stuck. He's like, "Let me see what my quarterback does." Jim, Greg Roman, Mark Trestman, and Marcus Brady and Shane Day all sat there watching the monitor to see what Jim did. What would Justin do in that situation? But no, in all reality, I don't know.
What are the odds that the star quarterback's in the elevator? Yeah, so maybe you're onto something,
dude. I bet you Jim was trying to pry those elevator doors like anybody. My court.
He took off his shirt, like, come on.
So exactly. He's probably like, get him out of there. I need my quarterback. I need him. Like in Star Wars. But
like, I can see it now, Fernando. My boss at SI saying, you know what? The Chargers are in the deep in the playoffs. They're about to go to the Super Bowl. Can you give me a 2,000-word story about how this moment in the elevator got them ready for the Super Bowl? Like, I can see it now. I'm going to do a whole story breakdown 5 months from now.
Bro, can you imagine if they're hoisting okay, let's just say in another universe, they're hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and Jim Harbaugh points to, I knew he was my quarterback when that moment in the elevator. I knew exactly. Oh, thank you, Dan. Yeah, Jerry Fouts is Dan Fouts' wife. Sorry, his son was also stuck in the elevator. But I wonder if they weren't too happy about how much, because he said that that the only person that could text was that the only one that had yeah, exactly. Nancy, where have you been?
I know.
The only person that had the only person that had any cell service was Justin. So
Really?
that was that's what Dan Fouts was saying on the. Then Dan Fouts also said on the broadcast that
What phone
Justin
service
Herbert.
does he have?
I don't know.
You gotta ask these questions one next time. What type of cell service do you have?
Yeah, I'm actually really interested. He probably is gonna have Verizon or something.
And get a sponsorship out of it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny, but I definitely going back to the elevator thing. It's just one of those things where it's just like when I got the alert, I pulled out my phone and I was like, wait, what? And I read it and I'm like, oh crap. First thing Daniel said, that's the thing. Thank you, Senor Rive-moi. Dan Fouts said on the broadcast that Justin Herbert and him had a conversation that he told him,
that's it.
I'm ready to go. And everybody kind of like all the doctors on social media kind of went off, and I was surprised Dr. Florio didn't throw out his 2 cents on it. But yeah, he was basically saying that he told him, hey, I'm ready to go. This isn't I'll be good to go for this. And I'm like, oh crap. So yeah, I don't know. Dr. Fouts, I'm sure that Dr. Harbaugh wasn't happy that Dr. Fouts gave an evaluation on that. So but a lot of craziness. Who knew how much an elevator being stuck in an elevator would create commotion, to be honest. Yeah, I noticed that, Nancy. You went to a black picture on your profile. That's how it is.
Okay. Well, good to be back. Good to see you back, Nancy. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. And
Jim is like the cable guy that just shows up to Justin's house unannounced, grabs him in an elevator to get more time with him.
like imagine if Harbaugh was actually in that elevator, just the chatter of coach speak and motivation to get people going. Like after after this first hour to second hour, like do you get annoyed or you're like, you know what? We actually like this. We thrive off of gym. It's okay. It's going to be a moment to learn. And the other part too, Fernando, I know we're making jokes here, and I want to make jokes about how Harbaugh is making this a big deal, but honestly, it is a big deal because
it's a huge deal.
It's like, if you think about it, it's a serious matter because 2 hours being stuck with 12 people, massive people. There was 2 women in there, and then being in Dallas, I'm sure it's humid. There was no AC, so it could have gone worse. So it's good that just to say, I want to say this at least, like that we can at least make some jokes about it, but it could have gone worse, and it's good that everybody turned out okay.
Jerry Fouts tweeted out, my son Ryan and I thank the Dallas PD for FD for rescuing us. And she's put thanks to Verizon. So Justin Herbert must have Verizon. I don't know what kind of cell service this next guest has, but we'll definitely get his thoughts on everything. He has been all over the place. He went to all training camps. He's been on the Rich Eisen, hosting the Rich Eisen show. He is the man, the myth, the legend, former NFL linebacker, an even better guy. Let's bring him on now. Kirk Morrison joins the show. Kirk, how are you doing? Thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Good. What's up, fellas? Can you hear me? I'm good.
Yeah, loud and clear, Kirk.
Styling and profiling.
I appreciate it, man. I had a little time. My son has a little workout session that he goes to, so I was like, man, this is perfect. I can chat with the guys while he go in there and go push some sleds.
Okay. Are you in the car, or are you driving, or are you stuck in traffic, or just waiting for?
I'm in the car. I'm chilling. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. We don't want to take too much of your time.
No.
He's a responsible adult.
Yes, I'm obeying the law.
Okay. I just want to double check, Kirk.
He's trying to dry snitch.
No, I just want to make sure you're good, Kirk, because we appreciate your time, and also we're gonna put you on the spot. You did call us out. We were walking by at I think maybe Rams camp or Saints camp. You were all over the place. We were too. Saints in Irvine, and you're like, hey, when you gonna get me on? And hey, me and Fernando started talking. You know what? I don't know. Kirk is busy. He's doing all these college football games. He's filling in for Rich Eisen. Should we? And you're responding to the call. We appreciate it.
Oh man, appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate what y'all do, and we have fun doing it. So anytime you guys need me, I'm always available.
Kirk, what's that moment been like for you to get that call from Rich Eisen asking you, hey, can you fill in for me? And how much fun have you had on the show? Because it seems like these new shows, I mean, Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen, the Pat McAfee, seems like it's all your boys. You're having fun. You're having a good time. It's a good atmosphere. Just what was that like to have to be on that kind of show and get that call?
It's always cool. Known Rich for a very long time, and it's just funny because it's like, if you would have asked me a long time ago when I was first retired in the league to go and host a radio show, I don't know if I could be able to do it because, old school radio fellas was like, it was like you're talking and you got to be, have your ins and your outs, and you got to have your topics ready and this and that. And I think radio has now changed. It's turned into like a full on just discussion with our buddies, right? It's, we call it barbershop talk, or us just talking around having a few drinks or something like that. I think it's more fun. So when I get that call, it's like I'm the long distance cousin that's just coming to go visit his boys, right? Going to go see his cousins, and I go hang out. So I'm always grateful for Rich for allowing me the opportunity to keep his seat warm for him, let him have a couple deserved days off from time to time. But it truly is fun because literally you just start talking and we go off on so many different little tangents. We start to, like, the best part is like during the show is actually during the breaks, because we'll talk about something, but the heated debates during the breaks sometimes come back to the show. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but it's been a cool experience.
Yeah, Kirk, I can only imagine all the banter going on behind the scenes when you can't get into it. But sometimes there's like you get in the heat of the moment of a debate during on air, and it just keeps going and going after. So I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself, Kirk. But we got a couple discussions for you here, about 3 to 4. Let us know if you have enough time here. We don't want to take too much again. But I'll take this one, Fernando. You could take the next one to lead the charge here. But let's start with the LA Rams,
No
a team
pun
that you.
intended.
What was that?
I said no pun intended.
Oh, sorry. Let's start with the LA Rams and the team that you cover very well. And some news came out, which you would think they'll be a little quiet before the final preseason game, but there's some back and forth where Ernest Jones potentially wanting to trade or not wanting to trade. Maybe the agent does. Maybe Ernest Jones doesn't know. Who knows what's going on with that one? But I'll give you a little bit of a two-parter. How critical is it to keep Ernest Jones on that roster? And then the whole with the Alaric Jackson getting suspended in a couple games of left tackle. How do you feel about the Rams knowing this information now?
Yeah, this is one of the more buttoned up teams. And now you got a couple of things that have really come out to light. So, first of all, I'll start with Lark Jackson because that's a 2-game suspension, because that affects everybody else on the 53-man roster. Somebody else may now have an opportunity to make this roster. Just because if you're going to be without a Lark Jackson for first 2 games, does that mean that the Rams have to keep extra tackles or an extra guard, extra swing player along that offensive line? So that's going to be one in which Sean McVay, they have to figure out how they're going to handle this. But that's 2 games without your starting left tackle as well. How do you get through it? That'd be very interesting. So I think this is something that you don't see this happen too often. A Rams player being suspended for conduct, and you've got 2 players suspended, not just a Larry Jackson. You still got to talk about the Jimmy Garoppolo who's suspended for the first 2 games. So that's 2 Rams that are suspended. It's crazy to think because we never have to talk about this in LA Ram country, but this is the big topic of conversation. On the other side with Ernest Jones, this is an interesting one because here you have a guy who's entering the final year of his contract, who's been your starting linebacker since he was drafted midway through his 2021 season. He's going into the final year, but the Rams truly haven't really paid a defensive player outside of a guy on the defensive line in Aaron Donald, but also Jalen Ramsey. Everybody else, they've kind of priced themselves out and had to go other places. Am I right? I mean, I think of John Johnson, drafted there, but when it was time for free agency, he had to go to the market. Same thing with Jordan Fuller, had to go to the market. A guy who was a starter from his rookie season. You just look up and down that defensive front. I mean, even I could throw in Samson Ebelkamp. Free agency came, had to go somewhere else. This falls in line with who the Rams are. They draft, they develop, and then they let you go. So if I'm Ernest Jones, yeah, I feel like I've proved that I've earned a contract. But let's be honest, the Rams just aren't going to pay what Roquan Smith got with the Baltimore Ravens or Patrick Queen got with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not who the Rams are. They value more offense than they do defense. And then there's another thing is seeing Omar Speights not play in that 3rd preseason game because they felt that he made the team or made a big impact. That was the big thing that came out of the 3rd preseason game as well. For a guy who was undrafted to be pulled or not even play, that to me is a telling sign that the Rams are maybe comfortable with letting and trading away Ernest Jones.
That's some knowledge right there, Fernando, on the linebacker situation, because I'm starting to wonder if Ernest Jones, or his agent at least, I don't want to say it's Ernest Jones, totally
Correct.
doing this, but like you start thinking like he probably thinks like, well, they're lacking a lot of depth at the position. I have some leverage here. They need me. It's a young defense. They don't have Aaron Donald. I am not Roquan Smith, but let me give it a shot here, and maybe the contract negotiations are lingering. And then to your point, Kirk, like like last year, this team tore the roster apart because they're okay with letting people walk. Unless you're Aaron Donald or Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year, or Matthew Stafford, you better make sure that you have a real contract, situation where you're going to push them and bend their arms a little bit to make you get that contract. Fernando, I don't know what you want to say about that, but I thought Kirk nailed it there on the situation. Also with the emerging player with Omar, who got the nod to Spates, not to make the 40 or actually 48-man roster too, the 53-man roster too.
I'll say this too, because the last linebacker I believe that that the Rams paid, who was a homegrown. When I say homegrown, is a player who they developed. That was a former first-round pick in Alec Ogletree. And remember, with Ogletree, he was a first-round pick. So sometimes I always feel like the first-round picks get the benefit of the doubt because you want to prove everybody right. Like, hey, we got the right one. We picked this one. So Ogletree got paid, but he didn't finish his contract with the Rams and was traded away,
To the
during
Giants.
to the Giants. You remember that? So I think that, the one thing I can say about Les Snead, he learns on the fly. He realizes that, you know what, I can adjust. And the Rams just have not invested in a linebacker at all. I mean,
Well,
even
Corey
the Bobby
Littleton was a
Wagner.
good homegrown player that they did really well, and they're like,
Forgot
"All right,
about
bye." And he goes to the Raiders, signs a 3-year, $36 million deal.
I forgot about that one. That's a great pull, that though, because Corey Littleton was like a on the ball like defensive end in college. Never even played off
Yeah.
the ball linebacker. They developed him into a starting middle linebacker. Plays well for the Rams, and then parlayed that into a big deal because the Rams weren't going to pay the linebacker position. It's one of those situations. If you're Ernest Jones, you're like, look, I want to be here, but I don't want to go into this year without the security. But then you realize the Rams, that's just not a position that they tend to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Kirk, while look, you got people excited. They said, "Oh shit, the San Diego State legend." Other people said, "Kirk Morrison, what a stud," but I hate the Raiders.
Yeah.
Somebody said that you're a certified compa, so we love that.
Yes,
Another
sir.
person said, Joe Morley said Kirk Morrison. So you got people in here excited. He did say though, why would Kirk hang out with these two? So definitely, definitely interesting. But the people love you, Kirk. We love you. But
Yeah.
real quick, let me ask you. So there was a lot made last week. The Cincinnati Bengals had a joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
And there was an article written that the Bengals players were very critical of Anthony Richardson after the joint practice, saying that basically they were like, why didn't he throw? Why didn't he do this? And they were a little bit frustrated with him. Do you think it's just trash talk, or do you think there's something there that maybe we're not seeing about Anthony Richardson?
I would say it's always a little bit of both. If you were there, you would probably get a better story of it. The one thing I can tell you about these joint practices is you want to leave an impression. Very rarely do you go to a joint practice and feel like you walk away like, I know they don't keep score, but you're keeping score in your head, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, we want to walk out feeling like we're better than them. And we got the better of their quarterback, the better of their team. That's how I know when I treated those joint practices, like, we got to go out there and dominate. And so it's one of those situations where guys are going to talk junk. They're going to talk trash. They want to, prove that, hey, we got the better of them and Anthony Richardson can't do this and things like that, because that's just what guys do. It motivates them. But overall, always say, we'll see come week one. I mean, the preseason is now over, fellas. All the reports. That's why I always laugh at this. How many times have we heard this over the last, month and a half, 6 weeks? Oh my God, he's having a great camp. Oh, he's having an amazing camp. I want to hear someone who's not had a good camp. Please tell me who didn't have a good camp.
Anthony
Who has
Richardson,
it?
apparently.
And that comes from the players. That doesn't come from where it doesn't come from like management or anybody else. So the only who can really talk about the players are the guys who are covering the team. I just tend to laugh that everyone has had a great camp and they're moving in the right direction. Oh, he's so much better than he was a year ago at this time. Let's get to week one and prove it. I'm now at the prove it stage of the season because everybody feels really good about themselves. And now everyone's smiling. You can do interviews with everybody. Oh, everybody's joyful. All right, I see you week one. See, September 5th and 6th and 8th and 9th. Everybody show up because I'm watching. I'm watching. I'm going to see all the people who ain't been practicing, ain't been doing nothing. Are you going to be ready to go? What's going to be the excuse now if you don't play well? Or if you do play well, okay, boom. We'll tip the cap to you. But I'm happy about that part of where we're at now, that we can finally get to analyze what's on the field and not all of the stuff about practice.
Breaking news: Kirk Morrison is talking about Cowboys fans right there when he talks about expectations and this
Yeah.
is our season and who's playing well and everything.
That's funny, man.
But
Cowboys fans.
just to add a little more here before we move on to the next topic, Kirk, it's funny to me seeing how overblown people get like about reports
Yes.
in camp on social media. Like if we didn't have social media, like it's okay if players trash talking on the football
Right.
field. Wow, what a big surprise here. Like it's okay. Like I don't blame the reporters for tweeting it out, but like I'll just say this and I'll move on. But like I told the guys last week when I was in Denver to check out Bo Nix and the Broncos, like people tweet out about the great plays, and then like they don't even tweet about the missed play or it was inaccurate here. It's just an up and down practice. These guys are gonna have good days and bad days. You're gonna chirp, but like you mentioned, the games are gonna count soon, and I can't wait for that.
I mean, the Chargers put on their social media a throw from Justin Herbert on pat and go to Quentin Johnson for a catch and a touchdown. And I said, okay, I would like to see that in real life. Like, let's see that not just in the practice. Show me that in a real game. Like, come on, people. What
Is
are we
that
doing
more of
here?
a shot at Quentin Johnson or Justin Herbert?
It may be D, all of the above. You got throwing the social team for even posting that. You know what I mean? So,
But that's the social teams like they just, and that's the thing. I've noticed that a lot of teams just throw out all the positives, like Gilbert said, and then it's like, well, show us some negatives, like a pick six or this or that. So
that's why it's time. That's why it's time for week one. Because guess what? You can't hide. It's all out there. We can all watch the games. You can go grab your subscriptions, whatever you need, because we can analyze every throw, every catch, every run, every missed tackle. The eye in the sky don't lie.
Subscriptions. He means he wants you to pay $800 for Sunday NFL tickets so you can check out every single game out there. Yes,
an NFL Plus for preseason games.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I got the NFL Plus for the preseason and also to all 22 during the year because I got to watch the film. Yeah. Like, I just can't watch the TV.
But you can write it off. It's your career, man. You can write it off and get that check later.
All right, man, quit telling everybody my business right now. Come on, Gil.
I'm kidding. It's expensive.
Yes, it's all good.
Go ahead, Fernando.
Let me ask you real quick. You mentioned the Chargers. Just what is your expectation of Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, and this team? I mean, we heard like Jim even made being stuck in an elevator for a couple hours interesting, and he broke down exactly how Justin Herbert and the rest of the guys were. But just what have you kind of what's your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh going into this year?
You know, honestly, my expectations are that they're going to be a good football team. They're going to run the football a lot. They're going to have some play action. I just don't know where they are in terms of their own division. I think that their division is obviously Chiefs and then the battle for second place. So how good can they be? Now it's Justin Herbert versus Bo Nix versus Gardner Minshew. And which guy is going to lead their team? I would say if I'm the Chargers, I just want to see this wide receiving group. Man, you lost a lot, and I don't know if there's anybody on that roster in terms of wide receiver that really makes me sit back and say, wow, we got to stop him. Maybe that's a good thing for their offense, that it can be well-rounded, but I want to see how their offense kind of takes shape. But also Justin Herbert, can he stay healthy for the full year? So there's a lot into the philosophy of the Chargers. I honestly will learn a lot week one for both teams in the division. You get a division game right off the bat. You get Raiders coming to LA to kiss the Chargers. We'll learn a lot about I think the Chargers this season, but also what the Raiders look like. So both teams within that division.
Are you going to be there?
No, I'm gonna be in studio for the Rams, man. We got
Oh,
Rams
yeah.
got the nightcap over in
Lions.
Detroit, the Lions. So trust me, I would love to be there, but I'm gonna watch that one on the tube, man, and be and just keep my eyes out open. And like I said, I'm gonna be watching the game after. I can't just watch the TV copy and learn from that. I gotta watch the all 20. You know what I
Shannon
mean?
Sharp says that he listens to it on mute. As a
Yeah.
former player, are you one of those guys that kind of listens to the games on mute? Because he says that sometimes he doesn't like listening to the analysis and all that, because he's like, most of it is either far-fetched, dumb, or I just don't agree with it. Is that something that you kind of think you do too, or do you listen to it?
Well, I like to listen to it because it's called a copycat league for a reason. And so there's a lot of terminology that sometimes that different broadcasters use. And I don't necessarily copycat, but sometimes some of those verbiage that they use may fall into my tool belt and may be used at different times. You know what I mean? So I'm always scouring press conferences, news clippings, video analysis, and even the games to listen to the broadcasters, because that's how I truly soak up more knowledge of the game. And I think I just have a greater respect because I do it on the college level. So I know there's some of those nuggets and info and tidbits or things you need to hear once. And like, okay, you store it in the memory bank, right? Like Justin Herbert was president of the fishing club in high school. Like you just hear that one time, and you're like, okay, I got it. You know what I mean? And now you could talk about that later on. You know, like, man, he's always been an outdoorsman and things like that. So I love the information of it, and I try to keep as much as possible in my brain.
Real quick, Gilbert, if you really want to add a big tool to your tool belt, listen to it in Spanish, and then give some give some stuff back in Spanish. There you go.
Touchdown!
Yeah, it's touchdown, golazo. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Wake up a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk,
Go.
guys, this is the last question for me. I want to ask you,
Sure.
because you're a former player and you probably have the best insight here on this. I think this past weekend with the preseason finales, how I'm just gonna say they were pretty boring, terrible games.
Yeah.
They do matter for the guys fighting for the last 5 or 6 spots on the roster. I don't want to be too critical, but hearing Les Snead saying, yeah, we pretty much have our 48-man roster on game days ready to go, tells you, by that time, you know what you're doing. So I feel like the NFL is going to use this week 3 terrible product and say, hey, let's cut down to 2 preseason games. Let's go to 18 games. We all win here. We get better product here, this and that. And thinking about the players here, Kirk, and obviously as a media person, both sides here, is it a good idea for the NFL to go to these 18 games, or you're asking too much for a lot of wear and tear on these players, where eventually also you start having the load management in the NFL? The product isn't as good, and maybe in week 12 because the guys are taking a day off. What are your thoughts on potentially going to 18 games here?
Well, I think it's going to happen at some point. I think the overall means that you're going to get more money. I think also too, I want to see expanded rosters a little bit, maybe add 3 to 4 players instead of go to 53. Let's just go to 60 as a round number. I think that can help out. I would love to see each team have to play 1 international game, per year. Uh, so I would love all of that and get 2 bye weeks. I think we can do that. So it works out. 20 games, 2 preseason, 18 regular season. That's what we continue to do. That's been the model. You had 4 and 16. Now we have 3 and 17. Now let's just move it up 2 and 18. And that's all we need. I think any more would be way too long of a season, the war of attrition. But I always say, I didn't know if we would like 17, but we just love football. Like you'll get used to it. We'll figure it all out. So that's what I've always come to say, is that if it works, it works. You can't oversaturate it. We will have a football game every day of the week this year in the National Football League. That's going to be I would have never thought that would happen, but the NFL will find a way.
So let's just say Mark Davis comes up to you and he goes, hey, Hey Kirk, where do you think where do you think we should play next year? What international game would you want? Where would you want to go? If he asked you where you wanted to take the Raiders, where would you take them?
Oh man, Estadio Azteca. Come
Hey.
on, man.
Ooh.
Yes,
See, look,
sir.
Kirk got into me telling him you need to grab some of that Spanish
Yes,
to put into your show, and man, that I think they would fill that whole thing out.
man. Estadio Azteca,
Remember
Mexico
when we were
City.
there,
Man.
Gilbert? Chargers and Chiefs, man,
Yeah.
it was so the way the stadium is designed, it's that every the noise stays in the stadium, so it
Yeah.
was loud, like deafening.
So I mean, like I said, I love the international series. I played in one when I was with the Buffalo Bills. We played in Toronto, the Toronto series. So that was always fun, and it breaks up the season a little bit, gives you something to do that's different. You'll still have either your 9 home games or 8, just depending on how the year may fall out, or play out. But I think that going to what each team playing one international game, it helps out the NFL. It helps out the scheduling. There's no competitive advantage. Everybody's playing a similar type of schedule, and I think the NFL kind of gets what they want. That's 16 games that you can
Yeah.
play internationally. That's where the game is going. We're going to expand, especially with flag football coming into the Olympics.
Calling out the quarterback's calling out Patrick Mahomes, saying that his skills won't translate.
I'm serious, man. I mean, this is the NFL wants to be a global game, and they will continue to do this.
Oh, I think
Who's Kirk?
he might have gotten a phone call.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
At
Okay.
first, I was saying no, but like I am all for it now because we saw it with soccer, with all the soccer matches. It's perfect seeing Real Madrid and Manchester, all these teams that come out, they always sell out. I think the NFL can do it as well.
I love that. Kirk, 2 more quick questions. One, did you already fill out but do you already have your Super Bowl selection?
Can't hear us.
Oh, I think he's getting a call.
Oh, well. Let the man go. He's a busy guy, and then
somebody's blowing up
his
phone. Yeah. But that was Kirk Morrison. Obviously, we love having Kirk on. Great dude. Just when he called us out, Gilbert, that was the funniest part when he said, "Hey, I want you guys I was just gonna ask him real quick about Trujillo's. It's a famous taco shop right next to SDSU. I wanted to see how many times a week he would go there. Definitely a good taco shop. And then I was gonna throw out hey, we should grab tacos one day, hang out. So
you were gonna ask him about a California burrito because you like to ask.
No. My first question was gonna be about his Super Bowl selection. What was it? So that was gonna be my.
That's why he left. You know what?
I know he was like he heard
the
that.
Rams
Like,
a lot.
I'm out.
You can't put him in the spot here.
Yeah. Joe Morley, you are a jackass. Like you just really are. Like some of the stuff that you put on here, Jesus God, my name.
It was a good comment when he said, "Why are you hanging out with these two guys?" So
no. But he has some other ones where I'm like, Joe.
I didn't see all of them. So Joe,
Kawhi would go to Trujillo's a lot. Yeah, I know. That's why. Well, yeah, I know. A lot of those guys, a lot of the SDSU guys would always mention.
How about this one here? I was gonna say what was that? You're doing like that did not sound like Mark Davis. That sounded like somebody else. Like,
well, I wasn't gonna like. You thought it was more Gruden?
Yeah, there you go. You're going recruiting. I was
well, they have the same haircut, so that's why I kind of went. I kind of went that route. Yeah.
Real quick, it's a random story, but for some reason, I had a video at the Super Bowl where I took a video of Mark Davis and Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Patrick Mahomes. And the comments were just literally like, I think I wrote something like, "Oh, Mark Davis and Jackson Mahomes walk by," and all the Raider fans was like, "Who gives a crap about Jackson Mahomes? Just talk about Mark Davis." I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right there. So that I just story for Morley right there.
Yeah, I'm sure Morley will love that one. It's funny. So I mean, we're jumping topics obviously, but Gilbert, I pulled a U over the weekend. Yesterday on Sunday, I pulled a U.
What was that?
I still remember that Pittsburgh Steelers game where you had to rewrite your story 3 or 4 times because the Chargers had blown out the Steelers, and then the Steelers came back. Then you wrote Chargers blow lead, and then the Chargers ended up winning it. Whatever. I did that yesterday. Right around the 8th inning, I'm like, all right, like this Padre game is over. I had to go cover the Padres yesterday.
I saw your tweets. I'm like, should I be watching this game?
Yeah, so I wrote Padres. Okay, real quick before Angel does bring up a good point. What would have happened if Dan was the one stuck in the elevator?
With Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I feel like he would be the overprotective guy. Like, hey, you need me to get you something? I know we're stuck here, but I'll do whatever it takes. I was going to call him my Lord and Savior, but the son of Odin. What do you need here? And Justin's like, hey, I'm good, man. Chill out. Like, I just totally see Dan be like, oh, let me help you out here in any way I can.
I actually think Dan and him would just start chatting it up, and like they're so like they're unique personalities that they would just get along right away. You remember at the Super Bowl when he met him, how he was like,
did he?
Remember in LA, Justin was walking by.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "What's up, guys? How are you guys?" And then he's like, "I'm like, oh, this is my brother Daniel." And then he goes, "Hey man, nice to meet you. I'm Justin." And Daniel goes, "What?"
I'm sure he offered him a snack, like, hey, you want some PB&J?
Yeah, he did offer him some
pretzels or raisins.
Yeah, and he didn't. He was like, "No, I'm good, thank you, I appreciate it." Is there a job out there for me, Joe? You let me know. Joe Morley says, how did Fernando get stuck covering two shitty teams like the Chargers and the Padres?
He's the Ron Burgundy of this era. Come on, Joe Morley.
Yeah,
San Diego needs him.
So basically, I wrote that the Padres had squandered a big opportunity. They were gonna lose the series 3-1 or 1-3. Yeah, 1-3, 3-1, whatever the hell you want. And all of a sudden, like I'm about to end it. And boom, Jurickson Profar hits a 2-run shot to tie it up in the 8th inning. Then Jackson Merrill comes up in the 9th inning and hammers one to win the game. And I'm like, crap. So like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go into the locker room, see what I get. So I'm in the locker room, and Profar goes, "Oh yeah, we called that shot. We knew he was gonna homer that." And I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Who called it?" He's like, "Oh, just all of us." I'm like, "All right." Then I go to Jackson. We interview Jackson. Jackson's a really low key guy. He doesn't really like talking about himself, so that was a little weird. Then we go to Machado, and Machado said, "Oh yeah, Luis Arise is the one that called it." I'm like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Yeah." And so he gave me good stuff. And then I look over and I'm like, where's Arise? Not in his locker. I'm like, crap. Then I look over, he's sitting there eating a double-double. I'm like, shoot. I'm like, come on. I'm like, let's go finish that thing. I was like, just throw it down your gullet. That's what she said. But I was like, okay, come on.
You did not say that.
And no. I didn't say that to him. Okay. So then Padres PR comes over and they're like, hey, we're closing the locker room. I'm like, crap. And then Arise is done, throws away his wrapper and starts walking to his locker. I'm like, can I get Arise for 2 questions? They're like, yeah. So I asked him, built my story around that. There's a few times where I kind of like, you kind of sit there and you're like, oh, wow, like this was actually a good story. I was actually really proud of the story yesterday. And I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, all right, cool.
Where can we find it?
Huh?
Where can we find
it's on the Sporting Tribune. I put it on my Instagram and I put it on Twitter. So I basically put Merrill Madness continues as he did that. So I wrote a whole thing about how Arise called the shot, and honestly, Merrill's done it to get some really good closers. So I was really surprised by the list of closers. So it's honestly really it was really interesting. So it was fun. I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit more Padres, especially if they get closer to
the wild card.
If they do make the playoffs. So I'm sure Joe Morley will have something to say about them potentially making the playoffs or not making it. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see that, to be there and to write that. I didn't get out of the stadium until about 6:30, so that was a little annoying. But yeah, no, it was a good experience.
Yeah, those were some long days. I feel like
baseball.
In the morning saying you're already at the stadium. I'm like, man, that's a long day.
I got there at 10.
Jeez.
Yeah,
so I can't do that. And then all the rewrites on your story to add to this story. I think the rule is, Fernando, if you're covering baseball, you don't really write your lead until after the 7th inning or in between the 7th inning.
Joe is just a jackass. Fernando covers the Padres and Chargers because it gets more months off not to have to cover the postseason. No, if I was covering the Raiders, I wouldn't have to cover the postseason either. So it's
Yeah,
kind
there
of
you
the
go.
same thing. But he's probably gonna add the Dodgers to that one. The Dodgers are a quick 3-and-out anyway, too. So I mean, where are we going with this? Unless it's a 60-game season, the Dodgers can't win anything. Let's just be honest. Okay, just for people that keep on asking, Dan will not be on today. He is supposed to be on tomorrow for What's Up Bulls. No, that wasn't even me. That wasn't even me. But Dan's out practicing. He had his first game over the weekend. It didn't go so well, but it was good to see. He was so excited about coaching for his alma mater. So I could tell he was really fired up on Friday. So yeah. So Joe. But yeah, Dan will be here tomorrow when we do the breakdown of the Chargers' initial 53-man roster, because the way Jim Harbaugh and those guys have been doing everything with their roster, they're moving pieces, they're doing a lot of different things. But yeah, Dan and I should be on tomorrow night. So
Nobody needs Dan. We don't need him.
Well, did you see what Joe put? Dan's back hurts today from carrying the show.
Yeah, What's Up Bolts, not Compas on the Beat. But if you want here, Fernando, we should announce the schedule at this point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So for football season, we were able to sit down with Dan and Diego, and for him to commit to a Compas show, it took a long time. I kept telling people, or I kept telling Dan, the people want to see you, Dan. Do you want to be part of the fall football lineup on Compas on the Beat YouTube? It's like, I don't know, man. Forget the people. I'm busy. And I'm like, no, like they love you. Like I'm gonna show you the tweets and in the comments here. And he's like, all right, for you, Gilberto, I will make time for the people. So I'm just relaying the message here. So to start off, Lunes Live would be our two faces, and Victor's gonna help us out behind the scene. What we're doing right now, we're gonna try to get a guest on once a week to break down the week that occurred in the NFL. We do not want Dan. I just told you guys he doesn't want to see you. But
that is a lie.
Lunes Live, 3:30 to 4:30. Well, pretty much like an hour, 90 minutes before Monday Night Football. We're going to be here taking questions, talking about Dan not being on here. Compas on the Beat, Lunes Live. And then Tuesdays for our combat sports people, Combat Compas. We're going to go around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It could be 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what's going on during the week. Fernando has WWE. I got boxing, and we both also like UFC. So a lot of combat sports. We got a lot of followers from combat sports over the past year. The Ryan Garcia shoving a match with Devin Haney. So we want to keep catering to the audience every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. By the way, Pacific all times Pacific here, because we are on the West Coast. LA Compas, by the way, and then San Diego Compa here. And then back to back around 7 p.m. when we're done with Combat Compas, another one. 4 Compas. We're going to call it the 4 Compas because you're going to see everybody on that show. That's the Dan show. He's going to carry the show to Joe Marty's comment. Fernando, Gilberto, Victor producer, Victor Corona, Dan and Diego. Dan doesn't have a real name. Dan and Diego, that's his name, by the way. 4 Compas together, Tuesday evening, 7-ish to 8-ish p.m. And then Wednesdays, for the Rams fans, you already know House of Horns. We've been doing Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Gilberto and Victor producer, got that. And then What's Up Bolts could be a little different times because Danny Diego can't commit to a time. He can't be Mr. Consistent. He's Mr. Irrelevant, not like Brock Purdy. That could be good or bad. I can't tell. But What's Up Bolts on Thursdays, Wednesdays, I don't know. But when you're on Dan time, it's worth the damn time. That's pretty good, right?
That's actually pretty good.
On Wednesdays. And then one more because it's about me. Gilberto's Hours. I finally gave it a name. For 1 hour after Thursday Night Football, I just talk about football, maybe some boxing, fantasy football, more sports betting. The show for the people, and don't ask me about Dan during my hour. Gilberto's Hours after Thursday Night Football.
Do people ask you about Dan?
Sometimes, actually, I forget. They probably do. And now that I'm gonna keep doing this, it's gonna be a bit. People are gonna troll me and say, "Where's Dan? Where's Dan?" So when my hour comes, Gilberto's hour after Thursday Night Football, ask me fantasy football questions. Ask me about sports bets. Ask me about game picks. Don't ask me about Dan and Diego. There you go. That is the lineup for
Gilbert
Compas on the
sounding
beat.
like CM Punk made that people love the part-timers instead of the guys putting in the work. every day.
Exactly. Come on, like John Cena, who kept saying, I'm not a part-timer, and then he goes off and becomes a part-timer. You're the Rock, pretty much, Dan and Diego. You're a part-timer.
So basically, the reason why What's Up Bullets has a question mark is because I am going to be continuing. I don't know. Do you guys like when we have opposing beat writers? I think it's pretty cool to get opposing viewpoints. So I think we're going to continue that. So that's the reason. I think we're going to do every hour is Dan's hour. I think we're going to continue what we did last year and the last 2 years where we get an opposing beat writer. Dan and I kind of start the show. We bring in the beat writer and then we go and then we come back out and Dan and I kind of break down the last few bits of the game. I think that's what we're going to kind of do in the middle. No, I will not, Joe Morley. I will not.
You
be
need a
doing
beat
that.
reporter. I don't know that Mr.
I already
Adam
got
Hill.
one. I already got
Adam
one.
Hill's
I don't
busy
need
too.
that one. I
Speaking
already
of busy
got that
people.
one. No. I don't need blessings, and I don't need
Or
any
Pauly
of that
G,
stuff.
Mr. Black. Black Belt.
Do the Raiders play the Rams this year?
Yeah, actually they do.
If you get him, I'll end the season with him. If you get him to preview your game, I'll end the season with him.
Wait, you talking about
Yes.
my coworker?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he said it. He said it. Oh, I'm gonna show Paul Gutierrez next week.
Okay. I'm just having fun. But let's move on with people.
No,
People get their
real
feelings
quick.
hurt.
So we're gonna keep on. So that's what our thinking is that we're gonna continue doing that, getting an opposing beat writer or a beat writer if a beat writer can't jump on with us, then we will just have we'll just bring on one of the guys, Pop or Chris or Reedy or one of those guys. So we'll definitely be doing that. So that'll be pre-taped and we'll throw it out on Thursday morning. So Thursday mornings, be out on the lookout for that stuff, for that episode on Thursday morning. So hit the notification button. By the way, Gilbert, real quick, I got to show you this because if you think that a certain person doesn't love doing this, you got to watch this. Disappearing after weeks of not being here. Could he be back? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm presenting the champion of the world.
I'm gonna copyright you.
Let's go! Oh, I feel juiced. I feel fired up. I have not been here in a while. I know it's been crazy. The scheduling has been a little crazy. Thursday walkthroughs, I get to get off a little early. Here I am. Hurricane. I'm fired up. How in the hell?
I'm not buying it. Behind the sunglasses, he's probably like, I gotta be here. He looks tired and beat up. Like, okay, for you, brother, I will do it. Not for the people. Like, okay, I'll do it.
I love that Wake Up Gilbert is like the greatest thing ever. Like when Austin was telling you to wake up.
Hey, the story is I just got the freak. I shouldn't. It's controversial, but I got, some people don't even like that. Whatever. I'm a 2-time vax person. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yes,
all right.
great promo by me. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into Gilbert real quick. What did you make of CeeDee Lamb finally signing his contract extension? And I don't know if you saw what would you call Mark Compa? What would you call what's it called? What would you call I mean, he said hi to me. I think he knew me. What's his name? The president of the PWFA, Clarence Hill.
Oh.
He just jobs, by the way.
No,
but
that's Calvin Watkins, wrong guy.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, my bad. I got that wrong.
Yes.
So he interviewed Jerry Jones and he asked him, why is there not a general manager? And he told Clarence Hill, there's nobody that can fucking come in here.
How many F-bombs you're gonna have on this show?
It's fine. And be a GM any better than I can. That, by the way, that's glorious. I wish there was an audio version to that because I totally would have put it up here.
Hey,
but Gilbert, what do you make of Jerry Jones's comments? 1, 2. What do you make of?
Oh, you know what he thought? Hey, Joe, I want you to. Okay, Joe Morley says I'm gonna lose weight so I can fit into a Compas shirt. I want you to
Morley.
be.
That's why I had to do it. That's why I had to lose all that weight.
You didn't want to. He said a shirt. He didn't say hoodie.
Into this
no. I had Wait, well, can you guys fit into 3X? That's the biggest I got. That's pretty
Oh, I
damn
can.
big. It's okay.
No.
4X, I can't help you. I'm sorry. Yes, maybe lose the weight, but 3X, I had big boy sizes. Okay, I had the XL, the 2X, the 3X, and also,
What?
by the way, Nancy, you're back. You kept telling me to promote the merch. So if you guys want more merch, I do have a lot of big boy sizes still left for hoodies. It's about to be cold, so I will promote those again. So thank you. There you go, Nancy. Look at that on the spot. Oh, that's why we need you on the show to be the merch promoter here. But yes, we don't discriminate. And back to the question, Fernando.
He's asking if it runs small or what.
I
No,
ran
they
out.
don't run small. We
No.
limited to 3X.
Yes, yeah, but also Fernando gets hot easily, so he doesn't wear the hoodie, whatever. I gave him crap for that, and then he started losing weight, and then he proved me wrong, and he fit into the hoodie. Anyways, for the audio people, he said no, I'm just fat. Okay,
So my bad.
all right.
And then on
But yeah,
so the
dude,
GM comments,
yes,
and then obviously them finally getting it done with CeeDee Lamb. 4 years, $136 million. I think it's $100 million guaranteed.
yes, and like I think like almost 40 mil at signing, but which is a record for a wide receiver. But two things, and it maybe I don't know, it's just behind the scenes stuff because Clarence Hill, congrats to him to getting a new job. He was at the Fort Worth Star for a long ass time, and
When he showed a picture of him from when he started to what it's like now.
Yeah, I remember following his tweets since like I've been working in this business like 10 years ago. So seeing his tweets on the daily helped out for me to follow the Cowboys. So him moving to this new, I guess, media company, All Dallas, I think it's called, and this shows the power of Clarence Hill. That I'm sure he went up to Jerry like, "Hey Jerry, I got a new job. I need to come out with a bang, with a dynamite story right here." And Jerry Jones said, "No problem. Here are some F-bombs, some S-words." Clarence probably said, "Are you sure I can run with this? I don't give a hoot. Go ahead and run it." So that's part of the story here. And also too, when people come at you, we already have some ages this year with Bill Belichick not keeping a job, Pete Carroll not keeping a job. The president had to step down because of age. So I'm sure Jerry Jones is probably saying F that about people criticizing my age. But it's not about the age, Jerry. It's about the lack of Super Bowl wins. It's the lack about the playoff wins. But I'll give you credit, Jerry Jones. You know how to run a business. You make a lot of money. I think they're now worth $10 billion in the NFL, the most from other franchises in the world. The world, Craig, Fernando, in the world. But it's got to get to a point where you let the son do it. And I'll give Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones a lot of credit because they do draft well. They don't have champagne problems because they don't win Super Bowls. But when you have to pay CeeDee Lamb, you have to pay Micah Parsons, you have to pay Dak Prescott, you're drafting very, very well. But at some point, you got to try something different. And Fernando, CeeDee Lamb got paid, which I don't know why it took forever, but they got it done. Credit to them. But now we're returning to? Dak Prescott to watch. Will they get Dak Prescott done? I'll be very,
That's
very
what
shocked.
I wanted to ask Kirk Morrison about. Dang
Dak
it.
Prescott?
Yeah. About my theory.
If he doesn't sign before the season, all these theories are going to be ready to go. If anything can happen, but still, Fernando, with 2 weeks to go and CeeDee Lamb getting taken care of, I would not be surprised.
Where did you guys get it first? I told you guys this is what's going to happen. They're going to be terrible this year. And then Dak Prescott will either be a Raider or a Ram. And Shedeur Sanders will be a Dallas Cowboy. I'm telling you, it's happening.
So he's going to leave Planet Dion and go to Dallas.
Oh, yeah. And Planet Dion's going to follow him there to do something. He's going to do something.
Oh, no. Planet Prime was the word of
Planet Prime. Yeah, exactly. Planet Prime. Yeah, exactly. Something like that's going to happen. But going back to the CeeDee Lamb, they needed him. They needed CeeDee Lamb in there. By the way, and they're not done. Dalvin Cook is supposedly on his way, according to Josina Anderson. He's headed down over to Dallas to meet with the Cowboys. So that'll be interesting to see how exactly. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. But they needed CeeDee Lamb. I mean, and we saw Brandon Cooks did well. Some other receivers were making grabs and they were doing well running the football. But you need CeeDee Lamb. He was the only guy that did anything against the Packers in that playoff game. So CeeDee Lamb is the guy. They need him. But I'm glad that they got him signed. Now it's going to be, like you said, Dak Prescott watch. And that's the thing. The Cowboys love the spotlight. So what are they going to do? They're going to be waiting. They're going to see what's going to happen, and we'll see what happens with Dak. But I truly believe that they're headed for a divorce. It's just like, look at what happened to Matthew Stafford once he left. Matthew Stafford went somewhere else and won a Super Bowl. So I truly think that maybe that's the best thing for Dak. Who knows if it'll happen? But Gilbert, I'm going to stand on that hill. I really do think that Dak is going to look for something else. I mean, Mike McCarthy was good 10 years ago, but he hasn't been a good head coach. I mean, he's been good. They've won games, but they can never do it in the playoffs, and I think that's what's harming them the most.
He's a good offensive-minded coach. He could, scheme it up well. Good designer. Sometimes he goes too traditional and conservative, and that's what gets him in trouble. So I guess what I'm trying to say, he still has a poor game management. He's still kind of poor in crunch time. Also, sometimes with the whole game plan, when you saw them struggle against the Green Bay Packers, like that was your moment. Like you got not the number 1 seed, but you got the NFC East. You got the number 2 seed. You could have gone for a lengthy playoff, and they didn't do it. So enough is enough. But I'll say this for now, for your theory to start taking some shape here and get the wheel spinning a little bit. Most GMs feel the pressure of paying a quarterback. We saw Trevor Lawrence, we saw Tua Tagovailoa, we saw Daniel Jones a couple of years, because in the NFL, a lot of GMs feel the pressure, like I need a franchise quarterback. If I don't have one, or a secure one for my owner, they're gonna fire me. Well, who's gonna fire Jerry Jones? He's a freaking GM and the owner, so he has the luxury to say, "All right, Dak, you are a good quarterback, but we've seen the movie too many times. We've seen Matthew Stafford with the Lions. He went to a different place. See you later." And the Lions turned out better. The Rams turned out better. Follow that blueprint, Jerry Jones. No one's going to fire you. Take a chance. Keep CeeDee Lamb. Keep Michael Parsons. And play that roulette with the quarterback. I know it's scary out there. The GMs hate playing quarterback roulette because you don't know who you're going to get. You could get who's pretty bad. Who's I don't want to bash anybody, but you get you get a Justin Herbert or a Trey Lance. There you go. Trey Lance was really man. By the way, it's been 1 year since he got traded. Shout out to the 49er fans who lost it when Trey Lance got traded and said, "What are we doing here?" Well, I think it turned out for the best. Brock Purdy is clearly better than Trey Lance. That happened 1 year ago today, and now he's a third stringer throwing 5 interceptions. Sorry, I just wanted to say it out loud real quick.
If Tyler Dragon had texted me, Trey Lance not that bad. Then Trey Lance threw his first pick. By the way, shout out to Shoney Jefferson. He balled. 14 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. Like, the dude was all over the field. I'd be surprised if they didn't. You know what? That's why I miss it being an even number of games, because I used to miss that the Cowboys were always the 8-8, and then Jeff Fisher 8-8. By the way, have you watched the Steve McNair documentary on?
Oh, I did. I think I saw it the first day it came out. It was
Jeff
pretty
Fisher,
short.
He did something to his face, right? Like, that's not the way he used to look.
Like in what sense? I didn't notice anything.
I think he had plastic surgery or something done to him, because he does not look like that.
I did think, I'm like, oh, he hasn't really aged. Like how,
I thought that was maybe a brother or something. I didn't think that was him.
He looked like the coach who was coaching like the Rams not too long ago. So
yeah, it was just I thought it was really different. But all right, Gilbert, Mike Tomlin says the Steelers will name a QB1 after the upcoming practice. Who do you think should be QB1? Or who do you think it's gonna be? Let's go with that.
Okay. But real quick, let me answer Brett. I see a comment here, and I'm sorry, I was reading it and I got distracted. But just to make an announcement, I think Brett, you're asking about House of Horns. We are gonna have a special episode, no Wednesday show. Victor and I will be on later tonight. I think maybe like 7:30 Pacific time to discuss the 53-man roster. And then for the Chargers fans,
it already came out.
No, tonight after this show, I'm gonna jump on and do the projections.
No, but it's already the 53-man roster, or
I don't know. It comes out tomorrow, but I think the Rams are already trimmed, cut down some people. I don't know if the Chargers have, but I think they released 8 guys, and then they released like 8 guys. Okay, I'm sure you've been asking, but we're gonna also take a projection stab. I can't make it this Wednesday, so I want to get a show out this week too. So Brett, thank you for asking. And then, yes, back to your question, Fernando.
Oh, real quick, then, if you're announcing that, Dan and Diego and I will be on Tuesday afternoon to talk about probably around 7 again to talk about the 53-man roster, kind of break it down and what we thought of it. So yeah, so we'll probably it'll probably be only a 30-minute show. I don't want to keep keep
Yeah.
him on too long. So
Yeah, not too long for us. Same on House of Horns. But I've been saying all along, and maybe some of you guys have too, but like, they're not the best option, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but I'd rather go with Justin Fields because there's more upside there. At least he can move the chains with him being athletic, being mobile. And like, think about it. Arthur Smith, he's not the greatest coach, but you know what? He can at least scheme up and design running plays. Who's a better runner? It's Justin Fields. And, it's weird because with Russell Wilson, it sounds like he's a safer guy. He won a Super Bowl. He's more experienced. He doesn't have the accuracy issues that Justin Fields has. But I'm telling you, and you agree, I know, Fernando, but Russell Wilson's not the same guy from Seattle, and he's going through some weird identity crisis where, like, okay, I want to be reckless. I want to throw downfield. I want to be the magician that you were in Seattle. You got in trouble every now and then, but for the most part, you made some wild plays. And then, now when that, for some reason that disappeared, I don't know what happened. He lost his confidence, whatever. And Denver, you just had a rough year. And then Sean Payton and put in the training wheels and said, all right, just don't mess it up. And he was just so scared to play. He would take some bad sacks. He would throw the ball away. He wouldn't push it down the field. And now he's trying to do both Seattle and Denver. And I'm like, who the hell are you, Russell Wilson? You don't seem like a confident quarterback. So with that, I don't want any part of that. Give me Justin Fields, who's better suited to fit the scheme of Arthur Smith. And to give you an answer, Fernando, those are my thoughts. But to give you an answer, the longer this drags on for Mike Tomlin, what do we got left? The Patriots and the Steelers, that might be it for quarterback competition. The more this drags on, the more I think it's going to be Justin Fields to kind of take over last minute.
So the reason why I think it'll be Justin Fields is because I saw a couple of reports that the Steelers have a couple of banged up offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just going to have him stand there, Russell Wilson stand there like a statue, he's going to get beat up all game long. Why even risk it? I would go with Justin Fields, try and get some of those offense. And I know it's going to be tough at the beginning because it is. Hold on, let me see how they start the season off. They go at Falcons, at Broncos, and then they welcome the Chargers. That's going to be
Smith revenge game. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a tough schedule to open up. The Falcons have Jesse Bates, AJ Terrell, and Justin Simmons back there, and then they added Matthew Judon. That's going to be tough. You have to deal with Patrick Surtain, and Russ goes back to Denver, so that'll be interesting. And then I know that the Chargers haven't been very good in the last year, but they're going to be tough. It's going to be a hard-nosed Jim Harbaugh style of team. So it is going to be a little bit tough to face those teams. So I think that's a rough stretch. I would rather Russell Wilson Justin Fields try and use his athleticism to win games than Russ just trying to sit back there and get swallowed up, especially because, like I said, that's Matthew Judon. I know the Broncos will probably have some good defensive linemen. And then you have Joey Bosa. Bud Dupree's returning to Pittsburgh. You have a bunch of guys. So yeah, I definitely think it needs to be Justin Fields.
Yeah, I'm definitely with it, man. I feel bad for George Pickens, by the way.
Yeah, no, 100%. Are you kind of fed up with the Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams? It's been a drama that for some reason it's dragged on, and it felt like that's kind of the way it happened with Nick Bosa as well. It kind of dragged on, but Nick was never there, so it kind of was really quiet. But this is really loud and really obnoxious, and it's like we have clowns on Twitter saying that the deal was already done, that he's going to the Steelers. He's not. We have other people that are saying, oh, hey, it's a done deal. He's staying with the 49ers. That still hasn't happened. And then Trent Williams already came out and said, I'm willing to sit out week one. Wow. What do you make of everything?
I don't think Trent Williams is bluffing. He was hardcore negotiator when it came to the Commanders or the Washington whatever team back then. And before he got traded, he was trying to get his deal there. And that could be a big issue because you got to have your anchor left tackle there. And I don't blame Trent Williams for doing this. He has some leverage. You saw Tristan Wirfs get paid. Obviously, he's still the best left tackle in the game, but he's older. Like, I think you paid Tristan Wirfs because of his upside in his youth. We'll see what happens there. And then with Brandon Ayuk, I just stopped giving a crap after he turned down the Patriots money. I'm like, what do you want? You want the money or not? And then he, turned down the Browns, and then he's thinking about the Steelers. That didn't work out. And then the 49ers know they need Ayuk because, I think Ricky Pearsall might have returned to practice, but he's still banged up, hasn't been practicing the rookie wide receiver there. So it's tough because both sides, they know they need each other for this. I guess, what do we call it? The last hurrah for this window here for this core group in San Francisco. Like, get it done or not. Like, I get to the point where, like, I don't give a crap. Like, I might start viewing the 49ers. I'm gonna go on a little rant. I'm gonna start viewing the 49ers like the Buffalo Bills, like the Dallas Cowboys. If you don't get it done this year, like, you got stacked teams, and then if you falter again, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't care. Well, just win the damn thing. So get it done this year. If you got to pay Trent, go ahead and do it. I think our compa Eric D. Williams said last week, like, do whatever it takes to get Brandon Ayuk there. Do whatever it takes to get Trent Williams. Get him in there. Stop messing around. Stop playing grab ass, like Dan Dago will say, and go win the damn Super Bowl, because Christian McCaffrey's not getting younger. George Kittle's not getting younger. And also, you got to pay Brock Purdy too. So, like, just get it done with this next this final year for the core group.
Let me ask you, well said. I agree. I am tired of the Brandon Ayuk stuff. Season's about to start. You just came off of losing a Super Bowl.
And CeeDee Lamb got paid. Like, what the hell are you waiting for? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to get this done. They need to keep it. If Brandon Ayuk is gone, I'm sorry. The 49ers are just a playoff team. They're not a Super Bowl contending team. If that, I think it'd be the Lions, the Eagles. I might move the Rams. The Rams, just, I have a lot of questions about that team. But I still think they're well coached, so obviously they're going to be in there. But
kind of like the Falcons, not going to lie to you. Matthew Judon.
I didn't like Rondell Moore getting hurt. That really, I think
they don't have any depth at wide receiver.
Yeah, that's on offense. They don't have depth. That's my only question about them. But their defense, holy smokes, that's a Madden defense. Gilbert, I don't know if you heard what happened with Jared Stidham. Did you hear what he said after the game?
Yeah, he believes he's a starting quarterback in this league.
Obviously, I was very disappointed. I know I'm a starting quarterback in this league. I have zero doubts about that. And, it just didn't shake out my way. But I know what kind of player I am, kind of person I am. And like I said earlier, I'll be ready to go if I need to be. And, like I said, I have no doubts that I'm
that was our compa, Troy Rank, who got that video. So
did his hat say Dallas, like upside down? I couldn't tell.
I think it's a Da, and then that was it. But what did you make of it?
I guess you gotta believe in yourself, but Jared Stidham, people are not getting in line to make you the franchise quarterback or to make you start games, but you are better suited for the backup life. But hey, you gotta believe in yourself. You just want to be the guy from Blue Mountain State and have it good and enjoy life with the clipboard. Alex Moran, but all power to him. But I could tell the writing was on the wall before my trip to Denver. Then I got to Denver. Then I saw Bo Nix play. I'm not saying Bo Nix is going to be CJ Stroud, but he definitely earned the job and won it. And when you have a first-round pick and you're not a first-round pick, you're going to give it to the first-round pick.
I wonder if Sean Payton kind of made him think that he was going to be the starter no matter what, in a sense.
It changed kind of quickly, right? Like in a 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because at the beginning of camp, he's like, "No, Stidham's our guy," and then all of a sudden he changed, and he's like, "Oh crap, okay, maybe it's something that I can't ward off." And yeah, he has him now, and now we'll see what this is going to look like. But damn, like, that was just a quick turn of events. By the way, real fast, before we're gonna jump over to Combat Compas. My bad, real quick. Any concerns about Brock Purdy? It seems like he continues to struggle. The offensive line, everything.
I do not give a crap anymore about preseason analysis. Like Kirk Morrison said, like, let's just play the damn games. It took me forever to write
It's crazy that it's second and third stringers that are picking him off.
I guess so, but I'll say this to make it tie into real football. He needs Brandon Ayuk. He is a rhythm quarterback. He needs to have, like, obviously he doesn't have to have the full gadget players that he has in San Francisco with Steve-O and CMC, but he really needs Brandon Ayuk because he's the only traditional wide receiver. The great route runner, gets open. How you mentioned the Charger in a call, McConkey, third and lad. Like, you need somebody to be open and be available to move the chains. Debo, he does that in explosive ways, but also you got to scheme up plays to give him the ball because our eyes are on Debo. Like, you don't want to let him go to the house on a quick yak monster reception. Ayuk just finds ways to get open easy, make life easier for you. And when you get into a rhythm, like he's still a young quarterback. that's what I see with Bo Nick sometimes. Like he needs to be in rhythm, or he's gonna rush throws, overthrow it. Okay, and you can't settle down. Brandon Ayuk gets you settled down, so maybe that's what you're seeing a little bit in the preseason. But again, I'm over the preseason. I'm over people dissecting Anthony Richardson. Just go play the damn games, okay? How about that?
Love that. Love that. Real quick, somebody did answer your call last week when you called him out. Real quick, I know it's another clip, but this was funny.
Yeah, I saw that. That's probably that asshole. Huge. That scumbag.
For the comment says, by the way, good to see.
That's
Dan
Alberto jump on. Where the hell are you, dude?
Alberto.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna go one-on-one with a great one. Even though I have better heroes, that guy sucks. But whatever.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's gonna think Victor or me. I'm gonna. If he walks away thinking it's Victor, I feel bad because Victor didn't say it, and then obviously he knew it was me, so it all worked out.
Victor is a kind soul that would say, Dan, we miss you, or throw something nice out there. You are the one that you know how to pick at him, so you know he's gonna freaking he's gonna say something to you. So yeah, no, I definitely think that's funny. Let's do. All right, I know where to go. So remember that little rodent, that little idiot that asked
that little weasel.
No, not that one.
McGregor.
Remember the guy that picked at Nate Diaz?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Neon.
Yeah. Whatever the hell his name is.
Neon with the 0.
Yeah. Well, guess what? He's back.
3. Oh no.
I just want to. Ryan, please, Ryan, no, take it slowly. Oh my God! No, get over here. Oh my
God! I'm actually enjoying this.
Okay. No, I'm not.
Oh
I'm not
my!
in. You didn't hurt. Come on.
I swear to God that. Yes.
No.
Yes. Wallahi, I did.
Oh!
Oh man, this is how you get famous nowadays. Doing, I guess, jackass-ish stuff. But if you're gonna be a jackass, go all in like freaking those guys, Steve-O and the gang there, Johnny Knoxville. At least they made it into an art, so I appreciate the jackassery from them.
Oh my God, it was so funny. All right, Gilbert, let us go now to
what you got?
So obviously, oh, you know what? This will be funny. Look who was hanging out. Gilbert, you're gonna love this. Look at the two guys the two legends that were hanging out.
Hey, Ric Flair, Mike Tyson.
What do you want to be in the picture?
Gotta go bow.
Can somebody get the car from Selena?
Ric Flair drip.
Hang on, there's a woman right here.
Mike Tyson 2.0. Go woo on a bitch.
Oh man, I wonder how much money he got for that.
You
for
know
that
what?
song.
I didn't see that. He said we're gonna get canceled. Mike Tyson said that. Ric Flair put good vibes with Mike Tyson. Always knew we'd be best friends. Woo, weed as in weed. Like yeah. So not the duo that you thought you'd see.
Angel, I will watch that. Ric Flair versus Jake Paul, and I have my money on Ric Flair.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. All right. So, all right, this is the kind of the bigger news, so I guess I'll go with this. Gilbert, your Spirit Airlines buddy is not happy right now. Your Spirit Airlines brethren. He has been kind of going off a little bit. Let's listen to a little bit from his show. Off the top, or Rikishi Fatu off the top pod. Listen to this.
Well, you know what? It comes from the head of the corporate table. As far as I posted out on my social media about this matter with I like to call my son the Yeet Man, and I mentioned this is no favoritism to him or just anyone, but as wrestlers, as a wrestler that's been there, put in work, and you can see the outpouring of love and support from the fans, whether it be Jey Uso or somebody else. And that was my question. The same thing that you're asking, because I want to know, what is it that this kid has to do? We can see he's probably the hottest intro when this kid is coming out. The fan, you talk about the fan engagement ability, a guy that shows up and shows out, a guy that does his job. What is it? Does it hurt champion belt? Obviously, them writers don't know where to put you or where you can write something that's right for the character of Jey Uso, the Yeet Man.
So basically,
Hey, I was thinking about that too, to be honest. So I like that from Rikishi.
Well, so Rikishi was basically going off about how his son, he doesn't feel like his son has gotten a fair shake as of late. WWE listened because tonight they put him in the three-way match and in a triple threat, and the winner of that match faces the winner of the other triple threat, and then they'll face off to see who challenges for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sure it'll be Jay. But I think the WWE is getting ready for the Bloodline storyline, and Jay's going to be added to that. So it's kind of like, if we throw him in there at the same time, like we need him there. We need him focused on that. So I get it, but at the and then the other thing is he did say, let me try and find the quote that he basically said, because I don't want to get this wrong. But he was basically saying that he was not happy that Jay didn't get the Money in the Bank a couple of months ago, that he thought that he should have been the Money in the Bank winner. He basically said, crap. This kid is so good, WWE ain't the only spot. He could probably go to AEW if he wants to write his own ticket. Maybe more than what WWE is making on him. Hopefully they turn it around and do the right thing by the Yeet Man. Now, let me go back to what Rikishi basically said. He said he wasn't happy that he didn't win the Money in the Bank. I can't remember who won it. Well, whatever.
Dance Boy,
Drew McIntyre. Yeah. And then he ended up cashing it in, and it didn't go anywhere. So thank you, Gilbert, for that one.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't happy that he hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship, even though he's hot. Gilbert, I've shown you the videos of his entrance.
Oh, yeah.
People are excited. People love him. It is kind of a shame that that he hasn't been getting pushed, but I really do think that Bloodline storyline is in the back of their minds, and they're like, hey, yeah, we need to have him. We need to show him out. But at the same time, let's pull him back a little bit because we have that coming up. So I can understand Rikishi's frustration, but it's his son. He said, not because he's my son. No, it is because he's your son. Like, you want the best for your kids, and that's fine. You were in the business for years, so I'm not going to tell you how to think. But at the same time, let's be honest. It is because he's your son that you're like, yeah, no, he deserves more. He deserves to be doing that. But no, Ricochet just debuted in AEW, Gilbert, and it didn't go so well for him.
Really? I didn't know that.
He didn't end up winning his match. So they ended up giving it. Oh, by the way, AEW now did a thing where if you win a gauntlet match, you now have a chance to cash in that win and choose a champion of your choosing and cash it in whenever you want. Yeah, just like the Money in the Bank. Get the hell out of here. Like, I was like, I don't know. This seems smells a little different to me. But
a little copyright there.
Yeah, but I don't like that talent tries to threaten with using WWE or using AEW. Like, I don't like that, but I do think Jey Uso is one of the bigger names in WWE. But at the same time, I mean, I think they're revving up for this Bloodline storyline and for Jey to be a part of it.
Yeah, I could see. I'm gonna make a point here, but I think it's all family for Rikishi. But you're gonna favor, your son, but also, you're also getting a lot of love for all your sons. You see what the other Uso brothers are doing. You see what Solo Sikoa is doing. Even the extended family, what they're doing. So and maybe in a way that helps them out. Like, they're all getting love, but you want to get more love for main event Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, which I like that, the Yeet Man, because those intros, the way he's getting the crowd into, the way you say it in wrestling world, like, he's so over, like, he has that. And I thought Money in the Bank, and we were talking about it, Fernando, like, yeah, I'm picking Jey Uso, and you wanted to as well, but it's like, it's too obvious. It's like, it seems like it's the easy one. Yeah, and it was like, they didn't do it. That seemed like an opportunity right there. They went a different way, like with Drew McIntyre. But like, part of me is kind of like, why can't he get what Solo Sikoa is getting? Like that, I get he's fighting with Roman Reigns, but that's big time, all eyeballs on you. And I'm not saying Jey Uso's never had status like that, but like he just seems ready for like a big singles title run, or at least compete, be in that picture. But ended up being Solo. I get that. That's great storyline. That's also great writing there for the writers. But you want to see something similar for Jey Uso. And honestly, I was thinking like, man, like I saw a couple of clips of him hitting on mommy. Cool, he's out there going a little viral, and that's it. I don't know anything else. Me, the casual. So you want to appeal to the casual? I don't see much from Jay. I see Dominic, Liv Morgan, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, and I see the Bloodline Civil War going at it. So that's it for the casuals. But I'm not seeing much of Jey Uso besides some viral videos of him going yeet.
I love this. Hey, they're probably smoking Mike Tyson's weed.
Hey, some promos there.
And then Nancy said, imagine 24 hours with Luke Flair. I couldn't.
Hey, seeing that documentary, how many beers he pounds to, like, I can't. He's gonna be like, hey, another beer. I can't do it, man. I can't keep up.
But yeah, no, I understand where, like I said, I understand where Rikishi's coming from. But Rikishi's now the retired vet that like he could say stuff and there's no repercussions. So I don't know. I get it, but I think they're ramping up for and I mean you go to AEW and what you're gonna get lost. Look at how many free agents they've signed, man. AEW, and they haven't really
that
been
terrible match with what is it, Mercedes Moné, which is going right now.
Hold on, I got something for we'll get back to Bash in Berlin. Guess what?
Go back to bashing AEW right now.
No, I'm not bashing. Okay,
Tony Khan, friend of the show.
No, he's a friend of the show. So I don't know if you heard, but Mercedes Moné just got separated from her husband a couple of weeks ago, and she's been very vocal about it. Listen to this. This is like very strange. Listen to this.
You opened up a few weeks ago. You opened up about something serious that you were dealing with personally in your life.
Oh God, what are you going to ask me?
Well, I wanted to ask
I'm not going to date you. Okay.
Well, I'm married 9 years, so thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But I wanted to ask, so you opened up about something serious that you were dealing with personally in your life. And I wanted to know, what did you learn from that experience? And specifically, what advice would you give to someone that may be going through a separation or divorce?
Why? Are you going to tell your wife something? You getting ready for something, brother?
A few weeks.
It's a little cringe, I'm not going to lie.
Something happened with her, but dude, when she was with WWE, her matches were always top notch. Her mic skills needed some work, but like that moment, Nancy, if you're still here, what did you think of that? Wasn't that a little weird? Like to tell a guy, like I don't know, to say something like that was just a little strange. I don't know what you thought of it, but it's just
it felt like she was trying to do like a MJF, like, okay, what does this guy want to ask me now?
Yeah,
and it didn't land right, and it's little. And he's like, actually,
I would never have asked along. I would never.
Yeah, that too. And I don't know. I get it. Sometimes, I don't know how each operation works, but like AEW and WWE try to make it a little too realistic. We're like, hey, let's have these press conferences, and they expect it to go right. When like, no, they're gonna ask you maybe some real questions, and that's what happened. And I think Mercedes Moné kind of botched a little bit of being the heel there.
Well, there's a lot of weirdness. Nancy said she thought it was really weird. Hold on, it gets even stranger. Where is it? Watch this. This is former WWE superstar Paige. Now she's with AEW as Saraya. That's her actual real name.
Oh, okay.
Whoa! First of all, it's just going to be my star. He's a my star.
I'm the star of the show. Well, the audacity of you to keep me waiting down with these bunch of fucking mobs down the front. Sit down. I'm so sick of it here.
What's going on in AEW?
Out there, I'm sick of being treated like crap. Right here, I'm sick of it.
All right.
How dare Jamie comes down there and get in my face? Does she know who she's messing with?
Maybe she's on a binger there.
I don't know what kind of binger she's on, but it was just I don't know. Oh well, I'll give my Bash in Berlin predictions, and I actually got a really funny video for you. A friend of the show. I think you'll remember this individual. All right, Gilbert. Bash in Berlin. Let's go first. Undisputed WWE champion of the world, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. This has been kind of a weird storyline.
Yeah.
There's rumors that Kevin Owens' contract is coming up, and that's the reason why they've kind of thrown him into the main event of this pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a great match. I think Kevin Owens is one of the best, if not the best worker in WWE. Never complains. He's always works. He always throws himself off of whatever they need him to. Whatever they need, Kevin Owens always delivers. So
he delivered that one time where what's it called? LA Knight and AJ Styles threw it down, and and Kevin Owens were given the play-by-play. That was pretty cool.
Kevin Owens, friend of the show, another friend of the show. So but this was kind of weird because Cody's like, fight me. Kevin Owens said, no, I respect you too much. Then they finally decided that they're going to fight. I think it's going to end up being Kevin Owens turns heel. We'll see what happens in that route. But I got Cody Rhodes winning it. I don't think they're going to take the belt off of him, even though I'd love to see Kevin Owens with the belt. I think Kevin Owens is like I said, one of the best workers in WWE. I loved talking to him. He was awesome that time that we got to chat with him. He also followed us, and he's like, great. He's like, great reporting, walking around with the thing still going. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I got Cody winning. Gilbert, I'm sure you're on the same.
It's way too soon to strip Cody Rhodes from the title. So I like Kevin Owens a lot, especially after that encounter we had with him in Philadelphia. But Cody Rhodes for sure.
It's off the rails there. That's the British for you. And then Nancy throws out, not a friend of Compa of the show. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't want to bash AEW too much. I do like Tony Khan, but like it just feels like when you go to Target, you go to WWE, and then when you go to Walmart, it's AEW. What's going on over here, man? So yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Brett said, I wonder if Braun Breaker is making his mark because his dad and uncle are making voice clips. Yeah, I mean, I think Braun's really freaking good at what he's doing. I don't want to criticize Jay, but the in-ring work still needs work to be had. That's why I think him and his brother had a terrible match at WrestleMania. I don't think their styles are really tough when it comes to one-on-one matches. So and I thought Solo actually did a really good job again. That's the thing when you've been a tag team for so long, and then they ask you to do solo matches. That's kind of that's when it gets tough. And I think Solo came up being a solo act. So he's actually a better wrestler one-on-one wrestler than those guys. So just a little criticism there, so people don't think it's just AEW bashing. I've been critical of Jey Uso as a wrestler. So Gilbert, a leather strap match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. That means they both will be strapped with a belt, and they have to touch all four corners. Drew McIntyre.
I've never been a fan of that type of match. I'll just say that.
You've never been a fan?
Not really. So it's a little weird.
I don't like that they're like they're about to go touch it and they're pulling them.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they're not. Yeah, it's a little.
I'm surprised when you said it right now. They're still trying to make it a thing, but all right.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's a match that Cody Rhodes' father made. Well, no, he had the one with the bell one. That's the one that he made famous. But I got CM Punk winning. I think Drew won last time, so I think CM Punk is going to win this time. I think CM Punk gets his first win in WWE in over a decade, so I'm sure everybody will be excited about that. Berlin will be excited. CM Punk has fans all over the world, so I'm waiting to see if Punk is on that one. What do you mean, Brett? By I'm waiting to see if Punk is on that one, like if he's gonna win a match, or what did you mean? My bad. I didn't know what you meant. But are you gonna go? You can't just get behind Punk. You know what's funny, Brett? Dan and Dago's on the same route. He doesn't like this new version of Punk. He thinks that, and I mean, I get it. Punk's coming back. He's trying to not ruffle feathers. He's really over. Okay, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if what Punk will do, but I agree with you. It's been a little, I think once you get Seth and CM Punk in there, I've liked the promos actually between Punk and yeah, Brett, I get it. People think that Punk sometimes thinks too high of himself. So I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Gilbert, is this also your best tag team ever? I think you are. That is your tag team, isn't it? The Hardy Boys?
It's tough, but I got to really think about it. But from the era of the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, even Too Cool, Rikishi, I think the Hardy Boys were the best from that group.
Okay. Yeah, the Hardy Boys were something now, bro. They literally sacrificed their bodies for everything. To be honest, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio. I'll just be quick on this. I already said it 2 weeks ago. Liv and Mysterio need to win this match. Rhea and Damian don't need this. They need this. So I definitely think that they should win it. And then last one, the Ring General Gunter, World Heavyweight Champion Gunter versus Randy Orton. I've actually liked their promos going back and forth. I think Gunter's going to win. I think Gunter's on another planet right now. So I definitely think that that he is going to win. So that is the preview for Bash in Berlin. They'll probably make more matches this week, but they usually like to keep it. Gilbert, I've been telling you, they've kept it at 5 to 6 matches to not like suffocate the card, which I actually really like. I think it's smart. I think it lets talent have more time to tell their story. The only thing is that it keeps out less talent from being on the card. So you take rushing or more talent. So I completely get it, but I promised you I had another video for you. So friend of the show, Montez Ford, was in Belgium, and people were recognizing him, but not for who you think he got recognized for.
These people. Oh my God, we're in Germany and up these people yelling LeBron James. Literally, this little boy like LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Oh my God. The fact we went to Hawaii, it just happened before. This man do not look like no LeBron James. I mean, literally, this little boy is so weird. Come over here and ask for a picture. Oh God! Because this is not LeBron.
He's not as tall or as bulky as LeBron.
He said, "LeBron James." I hope he's not following us. This is gonna be so.
Oh, here we go. Let's see.
Huh? No, he's inside the park though. We just heard LeBron James.
I didn't look back because I don't want to acknowledge something, but I felt bad.
Oh, you could hear it.
Look back and he's like,
yeah, you can't turn around like it's not your name. Don't do it.
So I just want to know how you feel about breaking his little boy heart in a few.
You know,
yeah, you got to do it.
I'm all about the kids, and you know, it just hurts my heart that when I get over there, he's gonna terribly realize like I'm not like that. But the fact that I look back and wave, now he's really back. Because why would you wave back? Because I didn't want to not acknowledge the child. You waved, so you probably I can't even talk. That's how nervous I am. I'm so nervous right now. I can't even talk. I did want to not acknowledge the child.
That is hilarious. By the way, Montez Ford is a way better individual than LeBron James in the sense of like he's more personable. LeBron James is so yeah, Montez is a nice guy. I think wrestlers in general are pretty nice. They're just some guy like, CM Punk. If you ask CM Punk for an autograph or a picture, I'm sure he ain't gonna greet you in the nicest ways. But Montez seems like he's a guy that is awesome. Nancy, I think Gilbert and I share the same thought that Eddie Guerrero was one of the guys that made us fall in love. Well, for me, he made me fall in love with wrestling. I think it was Eddie and The Undertaker and Rey Mysterio that kind of did it for me. I think those three, obviously Rey and Eddie being Mexican was awesome. And then Undertaker just because of the aura, that was awesome. But yeah, no, Eddie Guerrero is one of the greatest of all time. I really think that he made his persona work. I read in his book that his accent wasn't as thick as he laid it on the show. So obviously that was pretty interesting, but it was a sad day when he passed away and reading his book, it just made you think like that was one of the reasons why I've been straight edge my whole life. Like I read his book and like he talked about all the drugs, all the alcohol that he did. And he was straight edge the last like 5 or 6 years of his, the last 5 or 6 years of his life, he was straight edge. And unfortunately came back and haunted him. But Gilbert, we're just real quick. What are your thoughts on that?
He's definitely one of my favorites. Like, obviously, it's easy to root for Stone Cold, easy to root for The Rock, The Undertaker, guys like that who are big time in the WWE during that time. So you admire the way that Eddie Guerrero had to fight for everything that he got and to earn it. And obviously, he was popular with the Cruiserweight era in WCW. But even after when he moved over to WWE or WWF at the time, it's like, okay, what do? You're like a small fish in a giant pond here, and to have you lie, you cheat, you steal storyline, and embrace who you are, your background, and doing everything at the same time, being yourself, also being your culture, being amazing in the ring, putting your body on the line, being hilarious on the mic. Like, he doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best in the microphone. Yeah, he might have having a thick accent, but those promos where he just kind of like speaking from the bottom of his heart, you could tell he's going through that on a daily basis and say, you're not going to take anything from me because I've lost a lot of things like that. So I love the character, the way he built during that era where like they were trying to pump up John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Bautista, Randy Orton, and it's like, nah, what about me, Eddie Guerrero, man, and Rey Mysterio at the same time too. It was great, us being Latinos, to see the way he fought for the tension and the way he was adored by the fans.
And I understand that there's a lot of controversy when you say the name Chris Benoit in wrestling, but that moment where Eddie and Chris Benoit are in the ring crying after WrestleMania 20 when Eddie retains against Brock Lesnar, and then Chris won his World Heavyweight Championship. Like, that was one of the great, or maybe he retained against Kurt Angle. I can't remember which one he did. No. It was against Brock Lesnar. But it was just one of the greatest moments. I thought it was awesome to see Eddie Guerrero do that. And then obviously when Eddie passed away, to give Ray that chance to go out and get that champion. By the way, I saw that clip again the other day where Randy Orton's like, Ray, you're looking up into the heavens talking to Eddie Guerrero, but there's one problem, buddy. Eddie's not up there in heaven. He's down there in hell. And like laughing, his face, the smile, like the look on his face, I was like, damn, like I would love to do a sit down with Randy Orton one day. I'd love to ask him about some of those moments and see how he got into that. But Vic just told us, saw someone suggest Pedro Pascal should play him. Oh, that actually would be interesting.
I'm with it.
Him or Dominic Mysterio, one of the two should definitely play him.
If it wasn't for Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio having a custody battle for Dominic, I don't think the storyline with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan and Dominic would have been just as good.
And I told you, Dominic Mysterio said that Vince McMahon or somebody had said that he should be hanging from hanging like that, like, and whoever got him would bring him down
hanging the kid.
There. Yeah. I always send my coworker gifts of Ric Flair on Teams. Woo. Yeah, no, I love Ric Flair. You know what? How far would he have gone if he was wrestling in the era of? Wow, I don't know if he'd still be wrestling. He probably would have retired a couple years ago, but I would have loved to have seen him against the Cena from now, against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Like, I always think about that.
Just making comebacks every now and then would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen Eddie Guerrero with this generation, because this generation would have been really interesting. Eddie Guerrero was a guy that he never had to change his persona. He could have been his persona for 15 years and the fans would have loved him. He would have been like The Undertaker all those years and he still would have been loved. So I definitely this is a good one. Kurt versus Chris Benoit, WrestleMania 17. That was a really good match. Oh, well, that would have been a Guerrero versus Alberto Del Rio. That would have been interesting. Gilbert, before we go, I got two quick things for you, and then we'll head out. Let me remove this. Gilbert, is there a comeback on the way for Aaron Donald? Did you see this video of him?
I did not. What do you have?
He was racing LaShawn McCoy.
Shady and AD. Set, go. Oh, shit. Oh.
That was pretty easy for AD.
AD got him. AD got him. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh. Is that Deshaun Jackson on the camera?
I don't know who's on the camera, but I actually thought that was hilarious. Like, I don't know if I don't know.
McCoy was like putting his own body into it, and then AD is pretty easy.
Yeah. And I think FS1 just did a whole rebrand for what they're going to do now with all their shows and everything. So I think LaShawn...
We did too.
Huh?
We did too. We're a new...
Yeah. Well, we just enhanced what we did last year, but yeah, basically. Gilbert, I saw this meme and I thought of you because, well, I think this is going to be hilarious. And this is you. Mexicans be like quinceañera, boxing match, soccer game, 2-year-old's birthday party. The Modelo's all around, Gilbert. Is that true?
Yes, but a big mistake here, and if you know, you know. We don't do the cans. We do the bottles. The bottles taste better, and a couple times. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's my family. A couple
It
times.
was a technicality.
I guess, but a couple of times you cheap out with the cans, and I show up with the lata. What the? Sit that thing back, and a couple of uncles go and give me the glass because I did it wrong. So you live and you learn. So get the glass for the old guys, but also a lot. It's either Modelo's or they really like Bud Light for some reason. The really old Mexicans like Bud Light.
Oh yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Yeah, I've never understood that. But all right, everybody, we appreciate so much everybody checking out another episode of Compas on the Beat. Like Gilbert announced earlier, our shows will now be Lunes live from 3:30 to 4:30. So make sure you guys tune in. On Tuesday, we will do double the shows. One will be Gilbert and I doing combat sports, and then from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then later at 7 p.m., all four of us will are we going to be on the same thing, or are we going to jump out and then come back?
Right, jump out. That way separate them, yeah.
Okay, we're going to separate them. We're going to jump out, jump back in, and then it'll be the four of us jumping on and talking all things NFL. You guys have heard enough of us by then, so it'll be more of a Dan and Dago and Vic the producer kind of thing where we ask them what their thoughts were on everything that happened in the NFL over the weekend and on Monday Night Football. And we'll discuss Monday Night Football as well. Wednesday will be House of Horns. Thursday will be Gilbert's thing so that everybody can watch him. And oh, by the way, hold on. I do have something. I just remembered. Why did I not get a letter announcing that I was kicked out of the fantasy football league, Gilbert?
I
do have a question about that.
Oh
yeah. I don't give a shit. I wanted to ask on the hey, he got all red. No, I'm kidding. I honestly I just saw that you guys had your draft.
Well,
I was like, oh, that's cool. But
you had a lot going on in your life where I didn't want to give you some information that you don't even give a crap about in the moment. And two, you weren't setting your lineup by the end of the year. You didn't even care. And people were like, hey, is Fernando, does he even care? Does he even care? And I'm like, I don't want to talk to him right now. He has a lot going on. I don't think he
you're
cares.
Good. I was just messing around.
Then they voted. Fernando doesn't care, so we'll vote him off. So
cool. I wish I would have gotten a written note or something, but
no, but I kept forgetting, and then I'm like, gosh, I gotta tell him. But
no, you're good. I don't care.
I'll
I don't
tell you more after.
I just I just remembered right now. I was like, oh wait, when I was saying Gilbert wants to be all by himself, and then I was like, fantasy football. I just remembered, but no, I don't care. I'm just kidding. I don't honestly.
Well, at the end of the year, you weren't doing your lineups, eh? Yeah, see, he's man, not me, Nancy. But yes, I did feel wrong. I'm like, I gotta tell him eventually, but I'm like, it's not good timing, not good timing.
No, I don't care. It's fine. Lastly, Thursday morning will be What's Up Bolts. We will put it out in the morning. Like I said, we're gonna be getting another journalist to jump on and preview the game with us, and then Dan and Dago and I will talk about everything else after. So that'll be all released on Thursday night. Gilbert will do his thing where he talks about betting and all that other stuff.
Hey, by the way, ask your brother. I think I might want to get him on the first show to explain what Gil, because I'm naming it after his moniker for me. And like, are you explaining it to people?
By the way, that shirt that he made of you is like the greatest shirt ever.
Oh, I do have since we're bringing up stories right now. So I let Caroline borrow the shirt. She was wearing it for a little bit.
Glorious.
And then she came around to liking the shirt. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, she didn't like it before.
At first, like, what the hell is this? And then like, oh, it's actually comfortable. So she wore it for a while. And then she wanted to do laundry at her mom's house. So she took her laundry at her mom's house. And then like a couple of months, I'm like, where the hell's that shirt? And then out of nowhere, the mom was like, hey, is this your shirt? Your face is on it. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's my Gilberto shirt. Shovel included. You're like, yeah. She's like, okay. So the whole family is seeing the Gilberto shirt there, which I got to sell eventually. Damn, make more of those.
It's the greatest shirt ever.
I can pull it up right now, but you know what? Give me a couple seconds before we leave.
All right, I'll distract
how do
you in public.
I'll put a picture
real quick. I did do a prediction of my 53-man roster for the Chargers, so make sure you guys check that out on thesportingtribune.com. I did have Simi Fehoko over Brendan Rice, and that was a little hard. I actually spent about 5 to 10 minutes thinking about it, And so yeah, it was just a little like it really cost me an arm and a leg to think about it. And so yeah, I just hold on. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead. We can't hear him though. Can I unmute him? There he is. All right. Look at that. Isn't that the greatest shirt ever? Gilberto shovel included. And the picture just makes it even more amazing. People, what do you guys think of that shirt?
It's an original Compas on the Beat shirt, by the way. So shout out to Dan for the creativity there. It really surprised me when he gave it to me. But
the shovel included is the best. Like,
yeah, just seeing Caroline's mom like, this is yours. I'm like, I'm a little embarrassed, but yeah, it's his
I would have loved if Caroline's mom would have worn it and been like, look at this. Like, I have your shirt.
She's like, shovel included. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Nancy. Don't sleep on the Compas merch. Hey, the winter's coming up. You guys are gonna need sweatshirt. You guys are gonna need hoodies. You guys are gonna need hats. You know, some of those days you're gonna go out to the store. You don't want to do your hair, whatever. Get one of the hats. Make sure you guys check that out. Go to certifiedcompas.shop to check out everything that we have on there. Yeah, maybe we'll have give the shirt away. LOL. Yeah, no, we're not giving the shirt away. That's a great shirt. We do need to make sure we make another one.
Real quick, we don't have the website on right now, so we could get rid of that banner.
Oh, okay.
I am trying to find another way to get rid of these merch here. So you know what? The cold season is coming back. I will bring back the website. Hey, maybe we could do a pop-up, or maybe we go to a tailgate of a Chargers game, tease to give some shirts and hoodies out.
That'll be
season's coming up.
That'll be interesting. Oh, and also after games, Gilbert and Vic will do the House of Horns recap. After games, Dan and I will do the What's Up Bolts recap. So usually they they usually play at different times or whatever. So usually if the Chargers are on at 1, the Rams are on at 10, so vice versa. So we'll figure out how to do this, but honestly, we appreciate everybody. You guys are awesome. Nancy, welcome back. Angel, you are the best. You're always on. Brett, thank you. Jorge, thank you. GS, thank you. SD Charger 619, we appreciate all the funny comments that you had. You were hilarious. Let's see who else. Joe Morley, obviously. We appreciate you. Robert D. Jorge. Let's see who else. People at the beginning. Young West, obviously. The Worm. Everybody. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and having some fun with us. James Jennings,
Corey 42.
Kirkley. Yeah. So, and thank you so much to Kirk Morrison for jumping on with us. That was awesome. He is a friend of the show. Hopefully we'll have him on once again. Cause I did want to ask him about, I'm going to ask him about my my Dak Prescott prediction and what's going to happen all there. I'm sure he'll love that, but oh shoot. But again, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys tune in. And I think next Tuesday is our carne asada.
Yes, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, September 3rd, right? September 3rd.
September 3rd. Yeah.
We got to definitely plug that. We're going to have a lot of our compas jumping on the show. Maybe a very special guest, very, very special guest, and that'll be fun.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4.
So make sure you guys are tuned in. Make sure, again, guys, hit the notification buttons for everything so you guys are up to date when we go live. Since X is being a jackass, so make sure you guys hit the notification button. Again, thank you guys so much for checking out another episode of Compas on the Beat. Later in about 30 minutes, Gilbert and Vic will jump on to do House of Horns Tuesday night. Around 7, Dan and Dago and I will jump on to break down the Chargers' initial 53-man roster. So, again, thank you guys so much. Nancy, you are the best. We thank you guys, but for the time being, Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Yeah, good show. We announced our fall lineup. We got Kirk Morrison. We got Fernando talking wrestling. We've done it all on this show. So, thank you for everybody who jumped on. But, yes, time to get going. We're getting so much closer to real football. And enjoy the long weekend, Labor Day weekend. But let's get going. On that note, ya nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.